Welcome back to Tiny Grimes Games, and today I want to answer the question, is it worth getting the DLC for Pokemon Quest? And let me start by answering this way. You certainly don't have to get it. I am just about done with the game as far as beating the levels. I'm on the very last boss, and I can't quite beat him yet. I'm pretty close, and I don't have the DLC, and I'm not one of those people that has woken up every 5 hours to make sure I get all of my energy used. I've just played it for fun as a little side project. Had a really fun time with it. I've enjoyed it, but I haven't put a ton of time into it. I've just about beat the game. I don't have legendary Pokemon. I don't have anywhere close to all of them. So it kind of depends on what your goal is. But if your goal is just to have fun, beat the game, collect Pokemon, you absolutely do not need the DLC. And it's one of the things that I actually like a lot about this game. So what does the DLC do for you, though? Why would it be worth it? The main thing is you're going to get more of these cooking pots. So I only have one cooking pot. So whenever I want to bring in a new Pokemon, I got to bring them in one at a time. So you can see over here my collection of Abras as I'm trying to put together a top level Alakazam. I have one already, but I thought it might be good to have a party with two great Alakazams. But since I don't have the ability to bring in 4 at a time, I only have one good one. This other Alakazam I have is actually terrible. He has, this is the good one actually. The other one has terrible bingos. He has Psychic, which is great, but he doesn't even have the one ability with the 3 spots to fill him out. He has a secondary ability there, so if I try to auto it every time the computer's like, I don't know, maybe I should use Flash. No, computer, you should not use Flash. Don't be foolish. So the point is, if you don't buy the DLC, you can accomplish everything you want to, but it's going to be at a slower rate. It's not going to be as precise. You're not going to be able to have exactly the Alakazam you want. You're going to have to take what you've got and deal with it. And for me, that's actually been one of the things that's made this game really fun. I know I'm kind of working uphill, knowing that I don't have it easier, just being able to make 4 at a time and having all these other statues that give me lots more benefits when I conquer areas. But if you'll notice, I have been able to get about half the statues already. And again, this is with me not putting a ton of time into it. I don't have the really expensive statues, but I'll get them eventually. My Pokédex isn't full, but I imagine eventually it will be. So the bottom line is this. There's not a lot to do in this game, to be honest. There is collect all the Pokemon, and there's beat all the levels. I've already almost beaten all the levels, and I've collected a lot of Pokemon. So I think the question you need to ask yourself, if you're wondering, should I buy the DLC, is, what is your goal from the game? Is your goal to beat everything and do everything as fast as possible, and then, you know, make your own end game where you're just trying to make all of the best versions of the Pokemon you can? For what purpose? None, because there is no end game. But just for your own satisfaction, then it might be worth doing it, because I think that would be really hard to do without the DLC. If your goal is just have fun catching Pokemon, beating the game, you absolutely don't need it. And to me, I don't think you should buy the DLC, because at that point it's just getting you through the game quicker without an end game. Now, if this changes and at some point they add in some end game, some PvP element with leaderboards and things like that, then that sort of changes everything. Because the DLC really isn't that expensive anyway, especially if you want to go the cheap route. You can get it as low as $4.99 for the cheapest DLC. If you want to get all the DLC, yeah, it goes all the way up to $30 at that point. And to be honest, when I look at this game, I go, this is kind of a fun little game, but I am not paying $30 for Pokemon Quest. The game is not that good. So the bottom line is this. You're going to have to make a decision for yourself. Is the DLC worth it for you? Is this game worth $4.99? I think so. I think this game is definitely worth $4.99. Do you want to have 2 cooking pots? Do you want to have some advantages to be able to go through the game quicker and it's worth it to you? Spend the $4.99. Is it worth $30 to have 4 cooking pots? I don't think so. I just don't think this is a $30 game. This to me feels like maybe an $8 game, maybe a $10 game, not a $30 game. I personally would not spend that much money on this game, but it's a fun game. There's just not a lot of depth to it. So the bottom line is, if you buy the DLC, what you're doing is getting through the minimal amount of content at a faster rate. And if that's what you want to do, then you should do it. But the cool thing is, you don't have to. This is a game where you don't have to buy the DLC. You can do everything you want in this game without it. So you basically have that choice. How do you want to best enjoy Pokemon Quest? And whatever your decision is, it's available to you. So if you liked the video, like, subscribe, and I'll see you next time on Tiny Grimes Games.